Hello WKRG Facebook fans, this is News 5's Alison Spann behind the camera. I am currently at the scene of a train collision with a tour bus in Biloxi, Mississippi. We have confirmed with officials that there were 40 to 50 people on that tour bus coming from Texas. Their final destination is not known at the time. There are now 4 confirmed fatalities. 3 occurred on the bus in the initial accident, and the additional fatality occurred at the hospital after the fact. This is the scene right now. As you can see, there are a ton of search and rescue crews on the scene right now. They are saying, though, that it is turning into from a search and rescue operation into an investigation, because as you can tell, I mean, this train collided right here with this tour bus, and the tour bus is not on the road, it's actually on the tracks. So they are trying to investigate to figure out what exactly happened in this situation. Again, very early on in this investigation. In fact, this investigation is just getting started. I'm going to take you around the scene. It is, of course, blocked off with crime scene tape, so I can only take you so far into that scene, but I'm going to give you as many looks on that as I can. Someone asked what street I'm on. I'm currently on Esther Boulevard and Reed Avenue, the intersection there. Here's a better look. You can see that tour bus over the tracks, and that train hit directly on it. Again, there were 40 to 50 people on that tour bus. There are 4 confirmed fatalities. 3 happened in the initial attack, and the last one did happen at the hospital. You can see there are a ton of people out here kind of trying to figure out what exactly has happened, observing the situation. Everyone is now off of that bus. Someone commented, what was the bus driver thinking? We're really not sure at this point. At this point, the investigation is just getting started, so we have no details as to what exactly occurred here.
That whole school year, they left that car there, and so that way everyone knew. Exactly, and that's something I never forgot. I never knew.
Someone asked, where was the bus from? The bus was a tour bus with 40 to 50 people on board. It was coming from Texas, but officials are not sure where exactly it was going. Is everyone safe? No, unfortunately, there are 4 fatalities in this accident and 35 people taken to the hospital. The additional 7 people on board were not injured, and we're told that the Hollywood Casino here in Biloxi will be giving them room and board for the night while they figure out their plan from here on out. Again, News 5's Alison Spann here on the scene. I am in Biloxi, Mississippi, at the scene of a tour bus collision with a train. Now, officials have confirmed to us that there were 40 to 50 people on that tour bus. 4 fatalities are confirmed. 3 happened in the initial accident, and the 4th fatality occurred at the hospital. Now, there are 35 people also from the bus who were at the hospital, and they're injured. We're not sure the extent of those injuries, but there are 35 people who are at the hospital who have some form of injury from this accident. There were 7 people on that tour bus who were not harmed at all, and we are told that the city of Biloxi will be giving them room and board at the Hollywood Casino here in Biloxi, Mississippi. This is a tour bus from Texas. We're not sure where exactly in Texas, but it was coming from Texas, and we're not sure where it was traveling to. Officials have not been able to confirm exactly where that tour bus was headed, but again, a very sad scene. It's actually quite shocking. You see, I'll flip the camera in a second if you're just joining us so you can see, but it's a tour bus over train tracks, and the train collided right with that tour bus. Now, there was no road or turnoff from what I can tell, so I'm not exactly sure what happened, and officials are not sure what happened. They just told me that this has turned from a rescue mission into an investigation, so that it is now turned over to investigators who will try to piece together what happened in this tragic accident. I'm going to take you back over to the scene. There are, of course, a lot of people out, but we'll walk back towards the scene so you can kind of see what is happening. Everyone has been removed from that bus. 4 fatalities as well as 35 injuries. That is a tour bus across the train tracks, and it collided. The train hit that tour bus. Looks like T-boned the tour bus. 4 people were killed in this horrible accident, 3 of them in the initial wreck, and 1 of them at the hospital. There are 35 people currently being treated at the hospital for various injuries. We're not sure the scale or what type of injuries those passengers have. Of course, that is information that will be coming out later. There are 7 people who were on board that bus who were not harmed at all. Not sure how, just by the grace of God, they were not injured, but they will be put up in the Hollywood Casino in Biloxi while they try to figure out what to do next. Of course, these people were all traveling. They were traveling from Texas, so they are presumably not from here. They were on a vacation of sorts, so obviously they will need some help as far as lodging while they're in the city of Biloxi. Again, you're looking at a live look of a tour bus collision with a train.
I said it must got stuck. By Main Street. Okay, come on, go. What's up, buddy?
Do you want me to?
No. I wouldn't be here, no.
No, okay. Well, I didn't know if you wanted to have it here.
Oh, okay. Sí, va con esa. Yo tengo que ir para decir el crédito en esa. I'm mistaken. It's probably the driver.
Sorry?
Should be. I think it should be the driver.
Who, that they're trying to get out right now?
Yes.
They told me that they had everyone out.
3 people. 3 times.
3 fatalities. Well, actually 4 fatalities.
Yeah, that's now. First is 3.
3, right, and then the
Then,
4th.
now 1.
Right. With some people here who are observing the scene.
Huh?
Did you see what happened?
I heard it about like a mile. I was at the Coast Medical Center.
No, what did it sound like?
Well, I heard a train. I heard boom. That's all I know. When I walked toward Division, it's like, what's the scenery? I don't know. My name is Gary McGinn, from Junior.
And you actually heard.
I
heard this
heard.
accident.
I heard. It's like you see it, but I did not know till I could see. Come to it. You know what I'm saying?
No, what did you see when you first arrived here?
And I saw I come to Division, to the track, railroad track road, and I saw one passenger lean onto her right side with help, and then Biloxi rescue came in, tried to receive her, get her on a strap.
So she was actually out of the bus at this point.
Yeah, she's on the ground. She's on the ground where the second engine is.
Wow.
That's where she was laying at.
So it threw her out.
I don't know how she got there. I couldn't tell you. And then right around from here to here to the middle of the road, there's another torque, something else in there underneath there. So people got something from that area.
So was the scene pretty bad when you first arrived on?
This side was. This side, well, I didn't come to late. I saw all this, what's coming out. You know, all these people, the ones who 37 who were transported.
Okay. So it was pretty bad.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes,
Again.
it is.
Yes.
Okay. They're doing a good job.
Again, you're looking at the scene of a tour bus colliding with a train. 4 people on board that tour bus were killed. 3 were killed in the initial accident, and an additional person died at the hospital. Obviously, a very, very sad situation here that we have going on in Biloxi, and just a ton of people are out here trying to figure out what's going on in this community right now. The whole area is full of police officers and search and rescue, emergency ambulances. Again, Alison Spann here on the scene of a tour bus collision with a train. Now, from what I can see here from my vantage point, there is a tour bus, a large tour bus over the train tracks, and it looks like the train has T-boned that tour bus. Now, I do not see any sort of road, like there's no railroad crossing at this particular point. So it doesn't look like the tour bus was trying to turn onto a road and then the train hit it. I'm not sure exactly how this happened at all, but investigators say that they are just now beginning to investigate this scene and try to figure out what happened. Of course, their first and main priority was getting all of those people off of the tour bus, because again, you had 3 initial fatalities in the accident, and then you had an additional fatality on scene at the hospital. That person was confirmed dead at the hospital. Then you have 35 additional people who were transported for various injuries. Some could be life-threatening, but at this point we don't know the severity or the cause of those injuries. And then you had 7 people who came out with no injuries at all. So that was the authorities and officials' first priority, was getting help for those people who were injured in this terrible accident. So the investigation in this is just really beginning. There's just a ton of people out here, a ton of rescue crews, emergency crews, and the scene hasn't even been begun to be cleared at this point. There is a field of debris across the road, so as soon as we find out any more of those details, we'll obviously keep you updated. But a very sad situation here in Biloxi. A tour bus and a train have collided and 4 people have been killed, and 35 of those people on board that tour bus are injured in some shape, form, or fashion. Switch the camera so you can see what this scene looks like. Again, we are behind crime scene tape. They don't want us to get too close. So this is all that I can see, and unfortunately that's all that I can show you. But what you're looking at is a tour bus laid across train tracks, and you can see that train right behind it where it T-boned that tour bus. We were told that the jaws of life had to be used to remove some people from the train, or from the tour bus, I should say. So there was some people who were stuck, and from what I can see, I don't know if you guys can see it, but all of the windows are busted out of that tour bus, even the windows on the opposite side of where the train hit. So obviously the force of that train was pretty damaging. And again, that tour bus is where it is right now, but when the accident initially happened, it might have been, feet back, but the force of the train slid it to where it is now. So again, those are just things that we don't know at this point. Some people are commenting that the bus was stuck on the tracks. That could be the case, but at this point, nothing has been confirmed. At this point, officials are not saying anything. They're saying that the investigation is still early on, which it is. The last few people were just removed off of that bus right when we got here about 20 minutes ago. So they weren't even able to start the investigation process until those people were removed. So what we're dealing with right now is the investigation process is just beginning, but what they were dealing with before was the process of removing all of those people from that bus and making sure they got the proper care that they needed, because again, there were 40 to 50 people on this bus at the time of the accident. 35 of those have been transported to the hospital for various injuries. We don't know the severity or even what those injuries are, but there were 4 fatalities in this horrible accident. 3 occurred on impact, and the 4th happened at the hospital. This tour bus was coming from Texas, and we are not sure where exactly it was headed. That's something that officials haven't quite figured out yet. So that's a live look at the scene that I am at now. Of course, I will be live on News 5 at 5 o'clock with more details, so watch for us on there. We'll have some more details for you, and we'll just be bringing you all the updates from this horrible scene. We'll update you on the passengers and their well-being, update you on the investigation as they work to figure out what exactly happened at this very tragic accident here in Biloxi, Mississippi. For now, reporting in Biloxi, I'm Alison Spann for News 5.